All right, all right. Hello, hello. Let me see if this thing's working. Hello, hello, everyone. I don't have chat over here for some reason. I can see it over here, though. What's up, everybody? Let me move this over here so I can see. We got to talk about Star Wars. I finally went and saw it earlier, so I apologize I'm late. I apologize this is so late, but it is Friday night, so hopefully a few of you can hang out. Let's see who's up in here. What's up, Ricky? What's up, DWE? What's up, Lady Celtic? Seamus, Caesar, how are you? Anu. Strange TV. What's going on? Sluice Friggins. Jake from State Farm. Herb, what's up, man? Tina, hello. Ungalent. T. Bowen, what's up, man? K-Dubs. Jimmy Page, hey, Luke, hello. So yeah, I apologize this is late, but I got to talk about it. What I'm probably going to do is go through a list of a couple things, because, I'm still kind of processing the movie, and I'll probably just cut some of this up and put it on YouTube as a little short video and not leave this thing up as a listed live stream that lasts a couple hours or whatever, as usual. Jimmy Page, hey, how are you? What's up, Christopher? Hey, how you doing? Hola. Anyway, going to contain spoilers, so fair warning, if you have not seen The Rise of Skywalker, we're going to talk details, some details, and I'm sure you guys will bring up a lot. Again, I'm still kind of processing the whole thing. So there is a lot going on. So just want a fair warning before anybody hears anything or has not been spoiled already or has not seen it. Let's give them 20 or 30 seconds to click away. Go watch the new Witcher video, episode 1. I got to get back to that tonight, by the way. Let's see here. Yes, K-Dubs. Are you all right? Oh, shit. Well, damn. I thought everybody had seen it. So, I mean, we got to talk about it. We got to do spoilers. Like, you can't just, here's the thing. I can talk about some general things at first, but you got to do spoilers. I can't do a real thing without spoilers because you can't get into the details. What's up, Neff? How are you? So I totally get it. If you can't hang out. Anyway, so yeah, let me go over a few things. And then I definitely want to get into your comments as usual and all that good stuff. Here's the thing. Let me start by saying this. It's not as bad as people are making it out to be. It really is not. If you can I think the main thing is, which I totally understand. What's up, Rainer? How are you? I totally understand is everybody out? Because here comes spoilers. Oh, technically, this is not a spoiler because it was in the trailers. I think the main problem was the people had was Palpatine being back, right? And I get that. I do too. I don't really like that idea. This is the problem with The Last Jedi is it put us in this position, right? So, Palpatine being back was the biggest problem, I think. But if you can get by that, if you can accept that. He survived somehow, and there was peace for a long time after Anakin threw him over the thing in the Death Star. And you buy the theory that he did some kind of portal or whatever theory you want to go with, because it didn't really explain that right there. Didn't really explain how he survived. Was he alive? I didn't like the Snoke stuff. So there were definitely issues, no doubt about it. I knew he was a memory. Yeah, a physical thing. Yeah, I guess. He was kind of like a zombie at first. So I didn't like some of those things. But if you can get by that, the main part about Palpatine being the big bad again, then it was okay. It was okay. There was some great parts of this movie. There was some bad parts. I didn't like, Rey was a bit OP. She was a bit overpowered, but a lot of time has passed. I didn't like the opening crawl, just kind of straight out telling you Palpatine's back and whatever, and it has been apparently like a year or something. So they tried to go to the Leia thing, right? They tried to go have Leia be training her. And so Rey was a bit OP. There was some new Force powers. I don't really mind the new Force powers because, for example, if it's a video game that comes out, nobody has a problem with new Force powers. So I didn't mind that she was pretty powerful because if you remember Return of the Jedi, which this did obviously rhyme with, Luke was pretty damn powerful too. You saw that just by him force choking the guards as he walked into Jabba's palace, the Gamoran guards. So he was pretty OP too without a real master there. You know what I mean? So I get that. I get people would be mad that she's a little OP because she was pretty powerful, but I also get, that Luke was too. So I don't have a big problem with that. I didn't have any real issues with Kylo. I think that's okay that he it kind of rhymed with Vader and almost in reverse. He was redeemed like Vader. So I don't have a big problem with that. It was almost in reverse. And I think he purposely did that. He was kind of redeemed by his father, whereas Vader was redeemed by his son. So I get that. I think that was a fine parallel. I have no problem with Kylo. By the way, I have no problem with any of the actors and all that good stuff as well, in anything. So Leia, I think Leia, I got to give them a pass on the Leia thing. They did what they could. I understand that, she obviously passed away and they had to use, recycled footage from The Force Awakens and a little from The Last Jedi, I assume. And but they kind of made it work. I didn't love it, but I will say that I was emotional when Leia died. When Han was there, talking, that was a good little surprise I enjoyed as a vision to Kylo. And then Luke actually apologized and essentially saying I was wrong. So you could tell they were trying to undo The Last Jedi. There was no doubt about it. So in my opinion, that's a good thing. There were a couple, like I said, it wasn't executed perfectly by any means. So anyway, let's see. At least what I was going to say, I thought Poe and Finn were better. I kind of liked, them, their relationship. There was enough comedy there. It wasn't overdone. I think they were fine. I think the thing with, there was a lot of overcorrecting there by JJ, but at least he tried to answer some questions. So I got to give him credit for that at least. This is all on Rian Johnson to me, and ultimately Kathleen Kennedy for letting Rian Johnson get away with all this bullshit anyway, you know what I mean? Because this movie should have been split in half, and the last movie should not exist, basically, is my opinion. So, that's the way I look at it. I think it's a good thing that they tried to undo The Last Jedi. You can't completely retcon it, obviously, because things happen that you can't ever let go of, the way Luke acted and the way they treated some characters and the side stupid mission to Canobite and all that stuff. But this one did okay. I think it was okay. I went in, I tried to be open-minded about it, and I don't hate it. I don't absolutely hate it. I don't absolutely love it, but I don't absolutely hate it. And I'll probably think about more things as we go. So anyway, I do agree. I think another thing was people were saying, there's a lot going on. There definitely is. I don't think it's too overbearing, though. I've seen movies like that before where there's so much going on, but they had to answer so much in 2.5 hours. There was just no way to slow it down, so I get that. Again, they were put in this position, and the Fandom Menace made this happen. You know what I mean? The Fandom Menace made this happen. I was an original member of that before it had a name, I think, with the whole Last Jedi thing especially. That's what made that happen. So they listened at least to fans. And I understand where people are saying about too much fan service. I thought it was fine. So anyway, I didn't love it, didn't hate it. I think it's okay. I think the ending's fair for what they had to work with, because behind the scenes that Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams don't get along. I'm just sure of it. I don't know that for sure, obviously, but I think that's probably the case. Rian Johnson was more about, grandstanding and changing things just to be doing it, just to make a statement, and didn't worry about the story. They had no plan here, and that was the problem with Disney in the first place. The other movies have been great. So if you think about the whole Disney thing, I think, Rogue One was outstanding. Han Solo was okay. The Force Awakens, I said that in that review years ago, that it was okay, even though it copied A New Hope. So you have to take into consideration, that this is what they had to work with when they called JJ back to do it. Now, I'm not a big fan of his either, but I just think that's just the way it is. So anyway, one more thing I will say is I understand the idea of, and this is the Palpatine thing a little bit too, is that it takes away from Anakin. Anakin's supposed to be the chosen one, and I get that. I totally get it, but the thing is, you got to think about is it just to kind of counterbalance that is that to me the chosen one never made sense anyway. That was George Lucas's thing. He's already said that Anakin is the chosen one, and that stands, I think. But because the thing is, even if Palpatine survived, there was a period of time for all these years where there was peace. There was a new republic, right? So he still made the choice, regardless if Palpatine survived and did his Sith thing and warped over to the unknown regions of space. He still made the choice. Anakin was still redeemed. Anakin still essentially destroyed them, at least for a while. He made the choice to do so. So I don't think it necessarily completely takes away from him being the chosen one. If that makes any sense. So I'm just trying to think about it fairly. I didn't want to go into it just closed-minded saying it's going to suck, I hate it, whatever. And so that's the way. That's the basic. That's the basis of it. I think it's okay. I think it's okay, and it's not as bad as people make it out to be. Real quick, I will say one thing because here's the thing. I said this on the video I did on Patreon about so-called professional critics. If you believe this, so let me switch this over to really quick, and then I'll get to your questions. I apologize. Just want to get this out of the way. If I go to over here to Rotten Tomatoes, I think I have this up over here on the right screen. All right, this is the current score here from critics and the audience. So we got 57% from critics. They hate it. 86% from the audience. I always go by the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, right? Because that's real people. They're not professional critics, so-called professional critics. They're not paid by anybody to have a certain opinion. If you believe, now here's The Last Jedi. 91% of the critics loved it. 43% of the audience hated it. So, if you believe this over here with The Last Jedi, why would you not believe this for The Rise of Skywalker? So these are real people putting in their opinions, and it's almost at 90%. So the same people that hated The Last Jedi, or that loved The Last Jedi, I should say, right here, the critics on the tomato meter here, they loved it. The same people hate The Rise of Skywalker. To me, that's a good thing. To me, that makes sense to me, right? So I think that's a good thing to try to undo what they did. So I don't see a big problem with that. Again, there were a lot of problems, but there were also a lot of good things. Anyway, that's how I feel about it overall. Let's see. Let me get over here so I can find the comments here. I'm lost my stuff. Nope, not that. This is what I'm looking for. I apologize. I can't see my thing over here on Streamlabs. Anyway, what's up, Natalie? What's up, Apex? So, yes, I'm sorry. I know I missed a lot of comments here, but I wanted to kind of just get that little mini rant out of the way. Exactly, Seamus. Critics have Dave Chappelle's at a 0, and we know good and damn well that most everybody loved it because he wasn't afraid to just tell jokes. So that's what I mean. Strange TV, I like The Last Jedi over this. See, I mean, that's fine. I mean, that's the thing. Everybody can have their opinion. There's, I'm not with those people who, think you're stupid if you like the movie that I didn't, or vice versa. I don't go that route. Just give you my honest opinion, and all opinions are welcome here because everybody has a right to one. Soren, this was a bad movie. It definitely has some bad parts. There was a lot going on, but I don't think it's as bad, just my opinion, as people are saying. I tend to agree with the audience score. I think it was enjoyable. For the most part, it had some problems. I didn't like some of the big things, obviously, but if you can get past, like I said, the Palpatine and Anakin thing, in and of itself, it was better than people are saying. What's up, Jake? Herb, what's up, man? I was disappointed by the movie. It wasn't as bad as people are saying it is, but the fact that it's just okay is kind of what makes it disappointing. The R things. Hold on one second. It popped up there. Sorry, Herb. There are things I like and didn't like. Well, I agree. I mean, here's the thing. There's no way this is going to be a home run. There's no way this is ever going to be a home run, right? I mean, you had The Last Jedi happen, and because of that, there was no choice but to try to cram all this in to both make the story fit with and we don't know George Lucas's original vision either, so we'll never really know that unless he comes out and says it somewhere, because he did have 3 outlines when he sold it to Disney. So, yeah, it was never going to be a home run, regardless. They could, even if you had Deborah Chow, who's doing a fantastic job on The Mandalorian, it would have been better. But with what she had to work with to get this into one movie is what I'm saying, could not have made this work. So, and I'm no fan of J.J. Abrams. Just saying. Strange to you, what about the title of the movie and Star Wars Scroll being two different things? They just mess up. Yeah, I did not like the scroll. I didn't like how you had to just be told. I agree with that. I don't like how they just told you, was it like the dead speak or something, Palpatine's back over and whatever, and the Wayfinder thing. So I didn't like certain aspects of the story for sure. But again, if you kind of think about it that way and if you can accept the fact that at least they went back to the Sith, that's one thing I hated about Last Jedi and even The Force Awakens. They went away from the Sith, the Jedi versus the Sith, and tried to do some crazy whatever with Snoke, and Snoke ended up being nobody. So I didn't like that aspect. I didn't like that Sidious was over here in the nether regions, and then Snoke was just his puppet, as powerful as he was, and you saw all the clones of Snoke or whatever. So I had problems, definitely. Believe me, I'm not saying everything was great. I'm saying in and of itself, getting over that idea that Palpatine's still alive or whatever, it was better than people think or saying, to me. What's up, Christopher? Let's see. So I've heard that Netflix are making a God of War TV show. That would be badass. That would be cool. We're still playing that on Twitch as well, so I'm down for that one. Seamus, do you think Star Wars will find its footing again? I mean, I think you got to think about it. I mean, there's really only been one. I mean, if you want to include this one, but let's say we're not talking about this one for a second. There's only been one absolutely horrible Star Wars movie, even with Disney owning it. The other movies have been okay. The Last Jedi was horrid, in my opinion, and went way off the rails to what Star Wars is. And that was just, so if you think about it that way, there's only been one. So the main saga, was it partially ruined? Yes. But Star Wars is such a huge universe. Look at The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian proves that they can do a good Star Wars show, no doubt. Let's see. I'm sorry, I forgot to post on Patreon earlier. I was in such a rush. I apologize. Let's see. The Last Jedi Russian bot. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it, man. We all need to realize Rian Johnson is the biggest villain in Star Wars. The Rise of Skywalker was barely a victory considering his sneak attack. I agree. Rian Johnson is the problem, no doubt. And I guess Kathleen Kennedy, she's the boss ultimately for letting it happen. But Rian Johnson is the one I blame the most. He got free reign to do all this stuff. And, in Disney itself, with Kathleen Kennedy and whatever, not having a cohesive plan for a trilogy. That's the problem. So I agree. Neff, what's up, Neff? Thank you, man, for the super chat. I know you don't like scoring things, but if you had to give it a score out of 10, what do you think? What's your number? And see, this is why I don't score things. I would say, I don't know, if I just had to just write out right now, again, this could change because I could think about it more and process it and hate it more or love it more, whatever. I would say, I don't know, 6.5, 7. I think that's fair. Because people are acting like before I went, I just thought it was going to be a 2 or a 3, you know what I mean? Or not even that. So I don't know. That's why I don't do scores. I'm going to take my dad back to see it next week, and so I'll see it again. I haven't watched The Last Jedi. I watched it one more time when me and James watched it together, so because he had not seen it, so he could understand what I was talking about when I was bitching and moaning about it. So I'll see this again and have time to process and whatever, but we'll see. Ricky Strange, at Strange. Oh, I agree. Everyone is saying yellow. That makes no sense. Could have been Kylo's. He threw his into the ocean, and if it was white, it would at least show no allegiance. I guess you're talking about the lightsaber that Rey made at the end, as I guess she used parts from both lightsabers. I don't know where she got a kyber crystal to make it that golden yellow. So I'd have been fine if she just used Luke's. or Leia's, or kept them both. It would have been fine. But I thought it was kind of a cool nod. It was kind of a cool nod to at least go back to the homestead and open the whole thing up or close the whole thing down like it opened up with the double sunset. Doc Holliday, what's up, man? Uh-oh. Yes, spoilers here. Spoilers. Anybody coming in new, we are talking spoilers, just in case. I cannot do a non-spoiler review. Otherwise, we're just talking about cinematography and acting. Ian, I'm sorry. Never mind the first part of my Q&A. I'm sorry I didn't see it, Ian. I'm gonna try to find it again. Ricky, my problem was that they explained everything in 30 minutes before it was to pay off, and there was so freaking much miracle plot points. You need to get on a ship. 2 minutes ago, I showed you how to medal. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff, and I didn't like that little aspect of just kind of telling us exactly what it was, But I mean, I think that again, you have to blame Rian Johnson. You have to blame The Last Jedi for that, because some of this should have been in that movie. It should have been, this movie should have been split in half, and it would have been episodes 8 and 9. So yeah, I mean, this was never going to win. This was never going to be like a perfect Star Wars movie, whatever that is. There's no such thing anyway. They all had issues, but obviously The Last Jedi caused all this. Soren Grant, I feel like it brought more questions than answers. Yeah, I mean, it did. You have to wonder some things, but I think they at least tried to answer things. But I think, like Ricky's saying, there was a lot, almost too much explained. So I don't know. Let's see. What's up, Steph Snow? How are you? Sanglemore. What's up, gnome friend? I love the movie for emotional reasons. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I mean, I'm not gonna lie about it. That's what I was saying earlier. When Leia died, and then you first saw Luke come back and catch the lightsaber when Rey went back to Ahch-To. I mean, I got emotional. He said I was wrong, so it doesn't undo how he acted, but at least it kind of gives him a little bit of something. You know what I mean? To be the original Luke we all grew up with and all that stuff for us older Star Wars fans. And then I think that bridges fine with the new people, as far as the younger fans who are really digging the new characters as compared to the old school. I think Billy D. Williams made me emotional seeing him, Lando, come back. I think that was awesome. A little surprised there when Kylo had the flashback, or vision, I should say, of Han, was really cool. I got a little moist right here a couple of times, just a little bit. I can't lie about it. I mean, I tried to let myself just be in the movie and not form an opinion before I went. Ian, Q&A, sounds like you liked it overall. Glad to hear that. Yeah, I mean, overall, I think it was just a lot better than people are making out. Like I said before, if you believe this over here, let me go back to that for people who didn't see this, just to be clear. By the way, thank you, Glenn D, for subscribing. Appreciate it. Thank you, Nick Bat, for subscribing, and Ahmed for subscribing. Really appreciate it. Yes, please do me a favor if you can. If you're not, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button and all that good stuff. Really appreciate it. We're trying to turn this thing around here. We got The Witcher. We got more Witcher coming too. I got to get back on that tonight as well. Let me go over here to this again really quick, if I'm clicking the right thing. So what I was saying over here, just in case anybody wasn't in here, this is The Last Jedi here. If you believe this, which I do, I think this is accurate. I think this is very accurate. The audience score of 43%. Why is this not accurate for The Rise of Skywalker? That's all I'm saying. So, I mean, I never trust Rotten Tomatoes. I never look at critic scores, and I don't care about them because I know they all have usually an agenda opinion, but this is more accurate, obviously. So if this is accurate over here on The Last Jedi, why is this not? You know what I mean? So I think it is. Let me pull the chat back up here for a second. I thought K Dubs is leaving, but he's not a big. Thank you, Christopher. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you for the subscription. Yeah, I didn't. I didn't like the more you think about it, it kind of fits in a way, but the way Kylo put it. But I didn't originally like, and I still don't love it. The idea of Rey being a Palpatine. I mean, I think she should have been a Skywalker all along. I think she should have been Luke's daughter all along. It only made sense. It's a generational soap opera, and that's exactly what George Lucas had envisioned. But that's what they went with. That's what they went with to give her the raw power she had. So it was a balanced thing between almost the Skywalker and a Palpatine, like it's always been in that sense. So that's the way I'm trying to look at it. I still don't love the idea that she was his granddaughter. I mean, but who knows what he was doing in all his free time back in the day. So he had some random son we never knew about. So I don't like that idea. I don't like that her being a Palpatine, but I think the idea was that at the end she claimed Rey Skywalker because that was her real family. Kind of like the whole thing. It didn't matter who your actual blood is. It's just it's your family. So, The Boy, what's up, man? This movie was terrible. Yeah, a lot of people think so. A lot of people think so, and that's fine if you think it's terrible. I don't think it was as terrible as people are making it out to be. That's all I'm saying. Seamus, what story should they do next? Let's go to the Old Republic. Let's go to the Jedi and Sith origins. Let's go back. Let's not. No more side stories. Let's do that for TV. You know what I mean? Let's the Obi-Wan series and stuff like that. I would like for them to do some stuff on, like, Dark Lord would be really good for a Darth Vader movie. For if you're talking about recent characters, a Plagueis movie would be outstanding based off the book. If they bring that back into canon, that would be outstanding. But I really want to see the Old Republic stuff, and I want to see the origin stuff. I want to see old school shit. That's what they need to do. They don't need to worry for a while about new characters and stuff that takes place after after this movie. Steph Snow, Palpatine is the Emperor. His name is Sheev Palpatine. He was the senator who rose to power in the Old Republic, or I should say the Republic, who was secretly a Sith Lord named Darth Sidious. So Palpatine / Darth Sidious, Vader's master. Yes, exactly, Ricky, the leader of the Sith and Emperor in the first 6 movies. Yep, exactly. And that's one thing that I hated about Snoke. He wasn't a Sith. I wish they would have went with something like a Plagueis or whatever, and he could have been the villain in this movie too. So I get that completely. Dalton, what's up, Dalton Heller? I just got home from the movie. I enjoyed it a lot. I cried. It was better than what I was expecting from all the. You see, that's exactly right. That's exactly my feeling, Dalton. Exactly my feeling. A lot better than people are making it out. Just my opinion, but I think so. Trying to find where am I at here? Christopher, I don't see super chat. I don't see a super chat. No, I don't see a super chat. I don't know if you tried to send one or if you click the little. I don't know if you're on a phone or a computer, but you got to click the little. And don't feel obligated to. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you have to click the dollar icon and you type the message below where you select the amount, click send and process and all that stuff. But I don't have a super chat. Last one I got was from Niff. Where is this? East Awesome. What's up, East Awesome? I've seen worse movies like Solo and Last Jedi. They need to focus on TV for a decade. Marvel can take over the cinema. Yeah, I agree. Solo was okay. Last Jedi, horrible. But yeah, just, if we're going to the movies again every year, let's go backwards in time. Is that Jehoa, I believe, Santos, I believe. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it. I apologize if I'm not. The thing I didn't like in this movie was the damage control they had to do. Yeah, that's what was forced on them, I think. And again, I'm not defending J.J. Abrams. Not a big fan of his either, but they were forced. He was forced into this to where they had to kind of undo all the Last Jedi bullshit. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still over here on. I'm still on this thing here. I don't know why my chat's not showing in Streamlabs tonight. I have no idea. At least we're streamed to the right place this time. At least we're on the right. We're on the right channel. Let's see. Herb, what's up? Q&A. I always kind of thought Rey was a Palpatine, except in my theory, Rey was both a Palpatine and a Kenobi, with her mother being Obi-Wan's daughter or something like that. Yeah, I never bought any of those things, but they just had to find something to give us an answer because, you know, we demanded it. You know what I mean? The fandom menace, so to speak, demanded answers, and he had to do something, and it was already established that it wasn't, you know, Han and Leia's or Ben's brother or whatever. They would have known about their own kid. And the Netflix thing popped on the TV in there. Got to get back on The Witcher tonight. But yeah, so I didn't like that she's a Palpatine either. But they had to explain something, and she didn't really. I guess, you know, that's what they tried to do in The Last Jedi. She didn't have to be anybody in particular as far as bloodlines. That was the big message: is the Force doesn't belong to the Skywalkers and yada yada. Well, no shit. I mean, there's only been hundreds of thousands of Jedi and Sith over the years and centuries and millennia. Rian Johnson, but the point was here that, you know, she's so powerful that we needed to know what was happening. So they had to pick something, I guess. And you couldn't. That's one of those things you couldn't undo, right? From The Last Jedi, Luke didn't recognize her. He would have known if he had a kid. Leia and Han didn't recognize her, so you had to make her somebody. So I guess they picked one. And Obi-Wan had a Jedi code or whatever. So I don't know. Christopher, you unlock emojis and stuff. You look emojis and badges beside your name. You do for channel memberships. It's very similar to Twitch in that fashion. They're trying to, you know, do the Twitch thing. So if you're familiar with Twitch and you subscribe to somebody on Twitch, you unlock emojis and badges and all that stuff beside your name. So that's basically what it is over here for channel memberships. Ungoliant, the first half of this movie would have made a better episode. Yeah, they definitely should have. I mean, obviously they can't undo that completely, but yes, that's what I was saying. They need this was two movies in one, which I think that's why a lot of people feel like this is a spoiler review. Kylo Ren dies in the new movie. Yes, you're not ruining anybody's fun here. We know. Everybody here has seen it. Super chats are not going through. I'm not getting them. Let me refresh this page, and I don't know what's happening. I can't test my own. I apologize. I don't know what's happening. What is Let me see. Let me see if there's a thing on my. I can't really test this on mine. Yeah, I'm not seeing them. I only see the last two from Russian Bot and Neff. Let me see if I have something here. I can kind of test it. Maybe. Let me do a test. Maybe from this account. Let's see. I apologize, guys. I don't know what's happening. I'll do a test here and see. I actually just typed test to myself. Okay, it says it was all successful. Yeah, there it goes. I got one. That was from my phone, by the way. I don't know what everybody's watching on. I guess I need to put these on so I can hear these notifications too, by the way. I'm sorry. I can't hear the notifications. I see them occasionally. Yeah, that worked. Oh, thank you, Neff. Appreciate it, man. There it goes. Thank you, man. Neff, test and support. Thank you, man. Appreciate the super chat. Ron, what's up, man? Typos meant to say I haven't seen it yet, but I can give two shits and I name my son after Luke. Yeah, we are doing. We're talking spoilers, Ron. So I mean, if you don't mind those, or if you've already read the leaks or whatever, I will confirm that anybody that's read leaks or heard about them, they're true. But it's not quite as bad as people are making it out, in my opinion. I mean, could the Skywalker saga have come to a better close? Absolutely. Absolutely. But with what they had to force in this movie, it wasn't just absolutely downright horrible. Herb, the new trilogy after this would be pretty cool if we were Old Republic, especially if they center on Darth Revan or the Eternal Empire. Yeah, I think Revan would be good. Revan and Malak and that whole story. Going to see Vitiate and the old Sith Emperor, that would be cool. Definitely want to see that. I'm down for that. There's plenty of source material there, so they don't have to, let's get a director that knows what they're talking about, loves Star Wars lore, and it could be really good. Rocky Saki, what's up, Rocky Saki? No, AA Run. I was actually thinking that going in. I was like, I wonder if we're going to see anything on, Baby Yoda, but no. So that's never going to be answered. We'll see if they, or at least in the main saga, we'll see what they do with it in Mandalorian. I'm sure it's something to that effect, though, and at that time it would have been Snoke, maybe. So maybe Snoke was trying to find Force-sensitive kids for Palpatine or something. I don't know. Maybe they can still do that in The Mandalorian. The Last King of Scotland. Overall, I did enjoy it. This movie. Didn't like everything, like I said before, but overall, I think it's a lot better than people were making it out to be. I didn't like a lot of it, but I also liked a lot of it. So, I'm just not going to, I'm not going to pick a side. I'm not on a team. You know what I mean? I'm going to criticize something when I don't like it, and I'll say I love it when I do. Same with season 8. A lot of people had a problem with me hating season 8 for some reason. Like I don't get it, but I mean, it is what it is. Nomo FOMO, isn't the Force Hill the Baby Yoda connection? Yeah. I guess you could say that. That's not a new. By the way, a lot of people were having a problem with crazy Force abilities, and I get the criticism, but that's not a new Force ability. It's just new in a movie. That's been in B canon and C canon stuff for years, Force Heal with Jedi and stuff. So just to see it in a movie is not a big deal to me. I think it's kind of cool, actually. I don't mind when they do more powerful things. Like the Luke thing in The Last Jedi, the idea of that was really cool. The idea of a Force projection across the galaxy. I mean, that's a super powerful thing to do. But did he have to? I just didn't like the idea of him not being there himself and then having to die from it or whatever. I guess he chose to die. So that's what I hated about The Last Jedi, not the actual ability itself. You know what I mean? Q-Lin, hey, good to see you again. Do you think it's crazy that no one cares about GOT anymore? It's just like people want to pretend the finale never happened. No, I kind of get it. I do. I mean, because believe me, I get it about Star Wars and Game of Thrones. I do. Because now, and that's the problem, of course, on my channel on YouTube. That's why it's broken for me, because the machines of YouTube associate me with Game of Thrones, and now it's over. But there's just nothing more to talk about. That's the problem. If it would have been a great ending, or they answered some questions but left some a little bit vague, we could have still been debating on, things about, the prince that was promised or prophecies or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, it's just so bad that I get why people don't want to rewatch it. And some people say they don't care about the prequels and whatever because they know ultimately what happens. And I understand that. But, I'm going to still watch the prequels. Because it's very similar to Star Wars. I would not watch The Mandalorian because I hate The Last Jedi. You know what I mean? It's in the same universe, but it's two separate stories, storylines, two separate things. So, anyway. What's up, Big E? Force Healing makes sense, says Seamus. Force Heal is an old school EU movie. It is, exactly. That's what I mean. The expanding universe, that's normal. It's completely normal. So when people were talking about Rey shouldn't be able to force heal. Why? Why not? I don't understand that. You know what I mean? And then I think people had issues with the force connection they had, where they could actually start moving things between their little visions, like they fought in a vision. I don't know. I mean, I thought that was pretty cool, actually. I don't know about the moving physical things necessarily, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I thought it was really cool, actually, when Rey, and I know it was her connection to the Emperor, but I thought it was cool that she got so mad that lightning shot out her hand. I wanted Anakin to do that before he became Vader. Natalie, where are you going? No, it's Friday night, Natalie. It's 12:20 at Friday night. This is not, Wednesday afternoon. You're not. Where are you going? Natalie, you want to play some golf? You want to play some golf, Natalie? Are you down? Q-Lin, again, Star Wars always F's up, and they try to make amends, like having the Clone Wars and the Mandalorian. Well, yeah, they messed. I mean, I don't know. They messed up The Last Jedi, and like I said, The Force Awakens was okay, but it was okay because it was a repeat of A New Hope. So think about all the movies. The prequels were, you look back on them and they're pretty cheesy. George Lucas is not the greatest director himself, and his dialogue's not great. But the overall story was there. The only movie they really fucked up was The Last Jedi, and that was on Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy, I guess. Yeah, Natalie. Bet you'd stay up for that, huh? Yes, Neff, The Mandalorian is badass. It is fire. That last episode, if you guys hadn't seen it, I put that review out. One more to go, but I won't. And by the way, Deborah Chow, who directed that episode in episode 3, I knew she was working on the Obi-Wan thing, but I believe she's running it. I believe she's running that show, so Obi-Wan's going to be really good too. She is a Star Wars fan. Seamus, I just answered that question. Deborah Chow. Deborah Chow should direct the next trilogy. Let her at least run it. Get different directors if you want, but let her at least run the thing and have a story for all 3 movies, if there's going to be another trilogy. Biggie, yes, say Baby Yoda. Yeah, I know. He'll be all right. Galen, Attack of the Clones. Yeah, Attack of the Clones was by far the worst out of the prequels to me. There was good things about it, but the dialogue was cheesy, and so there were problems. But I mean, that's the thing. It's really odd to me. A lot of us old school fans, we go to the movies and we're all excited about seeing the prequels because it was the first time you saw a Star Wars movie in 20 years at the time. And then, as you get older and start thinking back on them and rewatching them, it's like, wasn't that great? You come out of theater all hyped about it, and then you start thinking about it. So, it was cheesy, but it's at least the main story was there. You know what I mean? It didn't bail on the story. Excuse me. I have not seen The Watchmen, by the way. So personally, I've never been into even though I'm an old comic nerd, I've never been into The Watchmen, and I just know the basics of Dr. Manhattan and stuff. I don't know enough about it, and I just don't have time, but I think the season just ended, right? So, Herb, Q&A, I want the Obi-Wan series to be tonally like the film Logan. Probably won't be, but still. Oh, you're saying you want the tone to be like Logan, kind of gritty and all that? Yeah, I don't know. I think I think they'll use The Mandalorian as a good measuring stick. I know, Q-Lin, I know. A lot of people have told me, I know. I just have so many, you must watch this show, so many, I guess, requests or whatever. Watchmen. Yes, Neff, Favreau, Filoni, and Deborah Chow have crushed it with The Mandalorian. Taika Waititi is directing the finale. It's going to be incredible. I have spoken. I agree totally. Those people right there need to run Star Wars, like all of it. They just do. I agree. Maybe Kathleen and Ryan can be kicked to the curb and they can come in and take over everything. Big E, how about Star Killer, Dark Vader Apprentice show, like the video game? That would be cool. I'll be fine. I'll be down with that. I love the Star Killer. I love those games, man. I'm down for that. I'm have no problem with that. I mean, if we can have Palpatine being alive for that long and nobody knew about it, where he, warped over to the unknown regions, why can't Vader have a secret apprentice? I have no problem with that at all. Of course, he had Ahsoka, so before he was Vader, so why not Vader? Bob Fisher, this is spoiler talk. We can talk openly here about spoilers. Yes, I don't do non-spoiler reviews. I just don't. I don't feel like you really can. Other than say, yeah, it had great moments. The tone was great, the pacing was great, the acting was great, the cinematography was great or bad or whatever. You can't really talk about a movie unless you talk spoilers. Nomo FOMO, Obi-Wan will be a samurai series. That sounds cool to me. I'm down for that. I'm a fan of samurai. Big fan of Japanese culture. And that's what they're based off of anyway. Rainer Gross, Jon Favreau should take over the new trilogy. He made so many smart choices for The Mandalorian. I'm fine with that. I agree. But then again, I mean, here's the thing. The new trilogy, there's not going to be another Skywalker trilogy. So that's it. This is just the main one. And that's kind of the way you got to think about it is Star Wars started with the Skywalker trilogy, and I guess it just ended with the Skywalker trilogy in a way, kind of, sort of. But any other trilogy is not going to be as controversial, I don't think, because it's going to be a completely separate topic. You know what I mean? So, excuse me. No problem, Quaylin. No problem. I'm glad I got it right. It's funny, Quaylin. I was learning Japanese back in the day when I taught martial arts for many, many years. I've loved Japanese culture, and I had a Japanese student here, and it was kind of funny. He was probably 16, 17, but his mother was still traditional Japanese, and she came into the dojo, and I would be teaching things, and then we'd talk about the Japanese names of the stuff we were working on, and I would say it. And she came up and told me that I spoke Japanese, the dialect, her dialect perfectly. So that's what she said. I'm like, I don't know if it's perfect, but maybe it's pretty good. But I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see. Ricky, I can barely see that there. Thank you, Ricky, for this. I'll get it up here. Thank you, Ricky, for the super chat. Do you think the damn it, I'm about losing it. Do you think the reason the two mains were so powerful was because midichlorians can be passed down genetically? Jedi were forbidden from marriage, and the powerful characters were born breaking that rule. Yeah, that's definitely a thing. Absolutely. I hate that we had to talk about the midichlorians. I didn't like that about the prequels either, because you leave the Force mysterious. Don't tell us everything. But that's what George Lucas decided to do. But it's definitely canon and established that genealogy and bloodlines are if you're Force sensitive in this world and you have a child, they're likely to be somewhat Force sensitive, at least more than the average person. Technically, everyone is in the universe, every living thing, but otherwise, but obviously more than others, and that's the midichlorian count. So we had to get that explained to us. Aaron, Obi-Wan is going to be like Castaway. Yeah, I know. I've always wondered that too. Like, how much can they do with the Obi-Wan show? That's when I was like, are they really doing an Obi-Wan show? But I mean, there's a lot of years there for him to do other things and sneak away, I guess. I don't know. Ian, Q&A, Chris, whoa, don't gloss over the martial arts history here. Details, which art and did you still practice? If not, you need to, my man. Ian, I mentioned that quite a bit, man. I missed that quite a bit. I trained in classical ninjutsu and modern Toshindo and third degree black belt in both. And I taught in Chapel Hill and then on my own school for 3 or 4 years. You see a couple of the Toshindo things behind me there. I don't know if I'm even pointing in the right place. Back there. There's a couple of the Toshindo ranks. I have a shit ton of stuff, not even on the wall. I got mine from Japan they're in frames over here on the floor because I'm trying to start pack things here. Alex Montero, what's up, man? What's up, Chris? Hope you're doing well, bro. I got a question for you. Which movie do you think had a better ending, Avengers Endgame or Rise of Skywalker? Ooh, I don't know. I didn't absolutely hate this ending. I didn't mind that Rey was kind of and essentially she became a new Skywalker regardless if she was actually Luke or Leia's child. So I think it was okay. I didn't think the ending was that horrible. But Endgame or that, I don't know. It's kind of two different worlds, man. I don't know. That's a coin toss, really, I think. I don't know. It's such different types of stories where the good guys win, but I guess Avengers, you still lost a lot of people and you couldn't bring some people back, where Star Wars has always been, you may lose a character once in a while, but it's all going to be like red shirts, you know what I mean? So there's not as much at stake, and you kind of know that going in. Almost like the Chewbacca moment, right? When Chewbacca was like, she force lightning the ship and thought she killed Chewie, So, a lot different, I don't know if you really compare those. But I thought they're both okay. They're not perfect, but yeah. Hey, Aaron, old school Q&A. This one, old school thing that has always bothered me. Why did Obi-Wan in A New Hope did not recognize C-3PO R2? Did Obi-Wan get a memory wipe as well? No, they explained that somewhere. I don't really remember. They explained the R2 thing, and then apparently there was something that they came out in the new canon that explains C-3PO, and I have not seen or read that, so I don't know. Anita R. Hey, Anita. Wow, Chris, I'm impressed. Impressed? Me? By what? What'd I do? Yeah, maybe somebody in the chat, Aaron, can remember. I don't remember. They explained they did the memory wipe on C-3PO in the was it the prequels? Yes, the prequels. Right, so they did C-3PO's memory wipe, so he wouldn't remember certain things. And they did explain why Obi-Wan didn't remember, but I don't know how that actually works. Alex, for me, Avengers Endgame is hands down better than this. I was just thinking Endgame was better executed. Oh, yeah, definitely better executed, yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. Rainer, I hated her taking the Skywalker name. I would have preferred her to say Rey and cast aside the name, seeing as the entire series kept throwing it at us that she was no one. Well, I don't see, that's the thing. Not the entire series. Episode 7 set up all that to be answered, and then Rian Johnson threw it out in the middle movie, in the sandwich. You know what I mean? So when you think about if you throw The Last Jedi out and you just had at least just JJ trying to have some kind of continuity, then that was set up to be that way. You know what I mean? It was just that Ryan came in and threw it out just to do his own thing and just to make some kind of fucking political statement. So I didn't mind that because I wanted her to be a Skywalker anyway. I wanted her to be Luke's daughter, like in the original. I wanted to see Mara Jade and all that kind of stuff, but they chose not to go that route. What's up, Corey Ryson? You're not late, man. You're not late. That's fine. I understand people are not going to be in here because they hadn't seen it. I wanted to make sure we didn't spoil it for anybody. Oh, Anita, you're talking about martial arts? Yeah. No, I did it for since 1995. That's the only tattoo I have. I'm about to get more at some point, but this tattoo is the Nin Kanji. Actually, I don't know if you can see that. I'm not in real time here. I drew that years ago myself and got that in 1995 or 96. I think I got tattooed in 96. So it's old. Bob Fisher, what's the deal with the Emperor? Isn't it too much? Surviving Death Star and biggest fleet ever. Yeah, no, I agree. I didn't like that, but I think if you explain it in a way, I think I read somewhere, and I don't know if they didn't explain it in the movie, so I don't know if it's official or if it's just supposed to be, because he didn't really explain that. But the blue light that you saw when Anakin threw him down the thing was supposed to be a portal he opened up to take him there, like some kind of, using the Force, and not so he wasn't apparently physically on the Death Star. I don't know if that's the case or true, because otherwise it doesn't make no sense for him to fall down the shaft and then the whole thing blows up while he's still on it. It just wouldn't work. So there's got to be something like that, right? No, I don't know. But here's the thing about the Palpatine thing. Just to throw this out there for old school fans and people who read the expanded universe stuff. Remember, his master was Darth Plagueis, and he was obsessed with midichlorians and life and living forever and all that stuff, and that was their plan from the get-go. So I don't really understand. I mean, I get the idea of it ruining Anakin's thing. Believe me, I get that, and to a degree it does. But like I mentioned earlier, it kind of don't eat at the same time. But if you know that about Palpatine from reading Darth Plagueis, the book, which is now expanded universe, but at the time it was canon, it's no surprise that he would have a trick to survive death. It shouldn't be. Now, for casual fans, they wouldn't know that, because if they didn't read Darth Plagueis. So that's why they should have tied Darth Plagueis in. That would have fit perfectly with Revenge of the Sith. When he mentions Darth Plagueis, that's why Snoke should have been Darth Plagueis, and he could have been the villain throughout. Or at least Darth. I mean, just something like that, at least. Anita R., can we all hope that John Williams gets the Academy Award? The music gave me chills. Yes, always John Williams music. I'm telling you, that's what causes the tears. When you're watching your first crush Leia lay down and do one last thing for Ben and Solo, and the music's playing, if you ain't got tears running down your cheeks, you just, I don't know. I mean, I did. I was in a theater with like 7 other people, and I was in the back, and yeah, I mean, I did for sure. Ungalia, you wanted her to be the daughter of Luke and Phasma? Phasma. Yeah, Gwendolyn Christie didn't get a lot of time either. Funny how Rian Johnson didn't didn't leave her in. I can't believe he killed her off, honestly. Herb, Q&A, there's a great vid online that argues Anakin's redemption was saving his son so that it doesn't bother me. Well, exactly, Herb. It was kind of the reverse, but I get that point too. Anakin was redeemed by his son. In this case, Kylo was redeemed by his father, the same family, right? From Leia's blood. So the thing I've always had a problem with Anakin and the Chosen One is the whole balance thing. I mean, I don't want them to ruin Anakin's, because that's what the story has always been about Anakin. That's out of George Lucas's mouth. That's not my opinion. The story is about Anakin, the original, and the family of the Skywalker family. But the balance thing never made sense to me. I said that when the prequels came out. If you destroy the Sith and there's Jedi running around, that's not balance either. You either have to have both or none. So I've never gotten the balance thing. I've never understood why that's balance. It's the same as a Game of Thrones, right? Or Ice and Fire. If it ends with Dany living and the Night King dying, that's not balance. And if you're talking about, I'm just saying. I mean, and I know, and I understand Jon's a Targaryen in that sense. I'm saying the Dany with dragons that are nuclear weapons. So there, that's their thinking. Rainer, I suppose it's definitely impossible to please everyone. I'm glad the majority enjoyed it. Just thankful Star Wars is back and the Mandalorian is killing it. Yes, absolutely. They're never going to please everybody. There's no doubt about it. And this was never going to be, there's no way. It doesn't matter who came in here. After the wreck that was The Last Jedi, there was nobody could possibly fix that. They would simply have to say The Last Jedi don't count. If they said it didn't count and they did another movie before this one, that's the only way they could have saved it completely. Bob Fisher, Sith-wise, if there was a rule of two, doesn't the idea of all the ghosts of dead Sith supporting Palpatine sort of nonsensical? Well, no, that actually, if you think about it, Bob, if you know the lore from Bane, from Darth Bane, who started the rule of two, it actually fits with that better, because he believed that the dark side was watered down when you had too many people, and so only the dark side running through two people at any given time, a master and apprentice, makes them more powerful. So in that sense, having those, because Star Wars has always had like ghosts of Sith past and Jedi past. They've always had that kind of thing. So that's nothing new. It actually kind of supports it in that sense. If that makes any sense, I don't know if it makes sense or not. But all their power going into him and whatever, essentially, that's how Darth Bane thought anyway, and that's old school canon. Corey writes, so Kylo is good and Rey is just lazy evil. No, I don't know what you mean there, Corey. Kylo redeemed, okay. But Rey, I think the idea was she's a Palpatine, but it doesn't make her evil. Remember, that's another thing, too, I'll say about old school Star Wars canon, or old school legends, now legends, whatever, formerly the expanded universe. The dark side is not about evil. The modern story of Palpatine was about evil. Palpatine was an evil character. But like, for example, Darth Plagueis was not evil. Darth Bane was not evil. They just had a different point of view, but they didn't just randomly go around killing people like monsters. That's even stated specifically in those books. So it was only Palpatine who he was pretty evil before he was ever a Sith apprentice to Plagueis. He killed his family just to prove he would be a good apprentice, that he was strong on the dark side. He was evil, but the dark side itself is not. Jarek Dominguez in the movie said that he's died before and they hint at clones, so it would be that he used a clone to transfer his soul or whatever. Yeah, I mean, you definitely saw the things of all the Snokes floating around and the stuff. I didn't see any other Palpatine clones, but he was also pretty damaged. He was like a zombie, no eyes, the white eyes or whatever, no fingers, bound to the bones. So I'm assuming that was his original body. So I don't think he cloned himself like he did in the expanded universe. So that's old school stuff too. So I don't know. Would people dig that? You know what I mean? If he just did an essence transfer to a clone somewhere, would that be better than having his actual body? I don't know. Because that was in the Timothy Zahn books. Yeah, exactly, Corey. Who is Snoke? Snoke was a placeholder, apparently. That's all. Neff, I hate how weakly Snoke was portrayed. Yeah, I know. I mean, because JJ, obviously he had some kind of ideas, not a lot apparently from what I understand, but there was a reason he was all tore up and had the scars and shit, and they never. But Rian Johnson, I know I keep saying Rian, I'm doing that on purpose, by the way. Ruin, I know people call him Ruin Johnson too. Yeah, he just ruined that. He ruined the Snoke character. Could have been something cool. Nah, you're good, Aaron. Hey, I can talk about Star Wars lore all damn night, man. This is my first love, man. I still consider a lot of the old stuff canon that's not really supposed to be canon, expanded universe, whatever. Because the new ones are just, they're not horrible. They're just watered down versions of the old ones, like the origins of the Sith and the Jedi and kyber crystals. I don't, just all that stuff. They've changed a lot of that, but it's still similar, but more, I just think it's watered down. The oldest video, the most popular video on my channel was History of the Sith until Game of Thrones season 5. It had like 230,000 views, and that's the original Sith history and the original Jedi history in those videos. And that's what I know. The new stuff is just kind of dumb. It's just watered down. Changed the planet names from all kinds of shit. So, Rayner, I really think they should have taken the risk and brought Hayden back as Anakin to bring Kylo back. Still keeps Anakin as the chosen one. It's the person. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree, Rayner. At least they had his voice in there. They did have his voice, and I heard the line specifically because I was listening for it. He did say he talked to Rey, one of the many voices. You had Obi-Wan, you had Qui-Gon, you had Yoda a couple times, Luke and Leia. But Anakin's voice, Hayden Christensen did say Rey, something like Rey, you must bring balance like I once did. So at least they acknowledged that. You know what I mean? I agree, though, he should have been a Force ghost or something. I think they should have went ahead and did it. I mean, it couldn't really be any worse, right? So, I mean, go ahead and bring him out. And they probably filmed that. I don't know if they just cut it or something. I don't really know, but I agree. Bob, did you like all the use of the Leia footage? Nah, I didn't love it, but I mean, I don't think they had a lot to work with, so it felt kind of odd. But I didn't hate it either. I think they did what they could as a tribute to her. I just wish they would have filmed. I just wish she wouldn't have died, honestly, and they could have done it right. I think it would have been better though, since she actually did in real life pass away. Why not have the character killed off instead of Luke in the last movie? So they wouldn't have to deal with that, And then Luke could have still been training her because, they did do the Leia Jedi thing, that's also old canon too. So if you like that, they did go with that. So Leia did some Jedi training. She didn't use enough of it, in my opinion, in this trilogy. She should have at least, she fuck the Mary Poppins, y'all, space thing. That was dumb. She should have been at least some basic Force push and pull stuff. And so at least they had the flashback. The flashback I didn't mind, actually. At least it showed that she did, at some point jump around with a lightsaber and learn how to fight. That was cool. You just couldn't see it, obviously, because of, them being older. All right, Herb, have a good one, man. Thanks for hanging out. Ron, we needed more from Luke. I haven't seen it yet, but I have a feeling by the way you guys are talking, Luke didn't do shit. He didn't do a lot, but he did help with Rey. He talked to her. He sat down with her, had a conversation. He did say, I was wrong. Basically, he said, I was wrong for sitting here on this island last movie. That's what he was saying. So in that sense, at least the words, when he said, I was wrong, because she was going to be there to camp out like he did because she was scared of herself. And he gave her the speech and said, I was wrong. I was running and hiding. Basically, it was a middle finger to Rian Johnson. That's the way I took it. Corey writes, man, Han Solo looking 50 even though he's 80. I know, that's crazy, man. It's so crazy. That was a little surprise for me there, actually. I didn't know that Harrison Ford had filmed anything for this. That was cool. Jarek, the movie seemed like JJ trying to fix Ariana. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm no JJ Abrams fan, but at least the fandom menace were heard, and they at least tried to undo some of The Last Jedi. I mean, that's a good thing to me. Yes, Voltaire, exactly. I mean, you can right out the gate, you could see that they were like, we have to undo this. Some of it. They can't completely undo everything, obviously, but they tried. So, I mean, they got some of it to kind of work, Big E, Anakin brought balance. Yeah, that's what I was saying about the balance thing. That's never made sense to me, but at least they didn't completely shit on Anakin, but because like I said, his specific line said, I don't know if a lot of people missed that or not, bring balance to the Force as I once did, or something very similar to that. But there was no real balance. If there's still Jedi, it still doesn't make any sense to me. This is something I bitched about when the prequels came out, about him being the chosen one. How can you have balance when there's still light side Jedi? Which is why I thought they would go the gray route with Rey. Yes, Jared, absolutely. JJ trying to fix Ryan's mistakes, even joke about throwing the lightsaber. Exactly. That was it was a fuck you to Rian Johnson. I can tell you right now, I just can tell. I don't know, obviously, but it's my opinion that they probably don't get along. I'm just saying they probably don't really love each other in real life, because you know, I don't know. I'm just saying. Rayner also Finn force sensitive because they sure painted him that way. Yeah, they kind of did. I was going to say that too. Right. He kind of like felt Ray in a way, but I don't know. But technically, everybody is force sensitive in the Star Wars lore. It's just your low midichlorian count makes it to where you can really control it or not. So he seems to have a little bit. I mean, he did sense something. I don't know. That's about it, though. I don't think he'll ever be a full-fledged force user. Ungalint, the reason I hate this trilogy, there was really one unanswered question after episode 1 through 6. What was the true prophecy and who gave it? They didn't touch that. Yeah, well, from George Lucas's mouth, I mean, I've seen him actually say this, that Anakin was the chosen one to bring balance to the Force. So JJ tried to have both. He tried to save that in a sense, but they really didn't come through on that part about it, so that Rey was the new Anakin in that sense, you know, where Kylo did the other part. So it's kind of both of them. But, yeah, again, the balanced prophecy has always been kind of tricky for me anyway, even before Disney. Crix Pop tried to see it on cam, stopped after 30 minutes. I am serious, and to brag, I don't know. not to brag. You couldn't watch it because of the quality or because of the movie? Quick question for you, Lee. Which is better, Rise of Skywalker or Cats? I don't know nothing about no Cats. I've just heard horrible things. I don't know. No idea. I don't even know what that is. I just know what. I've just heard it. Aaron, I hated it. Anakin in the prequels, he was like boohoo, crying baby, complaining about everything, and was thinking this is how he becomes Vader. Should have a more dramatic twist. Yeah, I think the Rise of, I mean, not the Rise, I think the Revenge of the Sith was good, but I didn't like him in Clones. It was more or less but it was a lot of the dialogue, and that was George Lucas, you know, so they had problems too, but at least the story was there, you know, at least the overall story was there, so it wasn't executed great either. People need to remember that too. Laura, yes, you can ask a Witcher question. Sure, why not? Feel free. Now, I'm not a Witcher expert, by the way, just saying. I'm not all the way done with the books. Aaron, other YouTubers do the spoiler free, and it seems like they're just doing it to have more content. You release the good stuff. Well, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, they do. I mean, and I get it. You know, you want to do a non-spoiler review to get it out there, to get, you know, to grow your channel and all that stuff, and you can't do it too early before people see it, and so, because it's got to have view velocity, so you need views fast, and you can't put a spoiler review out and then wait for a week and for people to see the movie or whatever. So I get it. I just can't do a non-spoiler review. It's just, you can't really do a review. You know what I mean? The movie, Crix? Okay, I got you. No, I get it. I mean, like I said, I went in and just and expected the worst. Hey, Ron, if they give us the Knights of the Old Republic trilogy movies, I could be so down they could base it on Yoda being younger just for fan service. It would sell. Yeah, they could do that. Yeah, Yoda backstory would be cool, tied in with Baby Yoda, but I don't think they're ever going to do that because George Lucas. Then again, they can do what they want because they don't listen to him, obviously. That was a big thing. You know, they betrayed him, but he sold his shit for $4 billion, so he always said he would never reveal Yoda's, you know, race or anything, any secret, so we're not going to learn about what Baby Yoda is, no species name, any of that kind of stuff. Exactly, Andrew. This is the first time that I didn't care about spoilers. I really didn't. And welcome, by the way, Andrew. Appreciate it. Is that O'Lowlin? I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. But yeah, this is the first time that I didn't care about Star Wars spoilers in my life. I just didn't care. Laura De Groot, I just want to know if his horse will die. You talking about The Witcher? If they do, I don't think I can watch the series. No. Roach won't die. Not to my knowledge. Now, if that happens later on, yeah, but no, I don't think so. Because the video games are not canon, but they're based after the books, and you have Roach in the video game. So, no, Roach will not go anywhere. Jarek, Jarek, you got a good point here. This is something I meant to mention earlier, actually. The Knights of Ren were pointless and died in seconds. What do you think of Rey using the Force to undo the saber stab? Disney released the Mandalorian episode a day before showing Baby do the same. Yeah, I have no problem with the Force healing because that's been a thing for years. It's just the first time you've seen it in a movie. But the Knights of Ren were pointless. That was JJ trying to, like, hey, remember those guys that I brought up in episode 7? They're still around. So they kind of acted like they were just been there the whole time. And they didn't do a damn thing. They wasn't Force sensitive. They just carried around regular weapons. So that was kind of stupid. Just, I don't know. But he was just trying to, again, undo the Rian Johnson shit where he just forgot about him completely. I mean, they didn't even exist in his world. So they just kind of had to pretend they were always around and he was still the master of the Knights of Ren or whatever. I don't know. Like that's what I thought they was going to, where they're going to do was the Ren character, the actual name Ren would be brought up about being some ancient Sith, but they never went that route. I don't know. All right, guys, it's like 1 o'clock. If you want to go another 15, 20 minutes, we can, but I need to grab a drink really quick. Are y'all down or are y'all ready to go to bed? I don't know what's happening. If that's the case, let me take a quick stretcher and grab a drink, and we'll keep going for a little bit if you want. It's Friday, why not? We'll go for another 20 or so. Yeah, Callie, I gotta catch up on his Dark Materials. I'm just going to have to focus on The Witcher for the next couple of days. So when I get done here, I gotta go start watching episode 2 and start those videos. Jay Chin, smoke break. Okay, all right. Sneaking the stream open, Rainer. What? All right, yeah. Let me go grab it. I'm sorry, Andrew. The Last Jedi was the antithesis to Empire Strikes Back, but that might be giving Disney too much credit for this trilogy. Yeah, they tried to make it. I mean, that's fine. They were supposed to rhyme, but and you can see obviously Return of the Jedi in this one a little bit, but yeah, that the other ones were purely copies in the sense of the scenery. All right, yeah. Let me give me a couple seconds, guys, and I will be right back. Meow, 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 meow. Alrighty. Let's see. Let's find my yes, that. No, not that. I don't know why I cannot see the chat tonight in Streamlabs. It's always fucked up on YouTube now for some reason. Andrew, the Hobbit trilogy was rough by comparison. Yeah, and I'm not the biggest. I like Lord of the Rings, but I'm not so invested in it to be critical or not critical. But I'm definitely going to relearn it because I read that so long ago when I was young, and we got the new show coming. And I did unmute myself, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, Andrew, as fan of the books, you hate to see material cut. That's always going to be the case. Overabundance of book materials needed to make a great show. You're never going to see any kind of show equal books in the sense of the material. They would have to just go for so long, like a Walking Dead style length show with an actual story. Ungalian, is Val binging The Witcher still? I don't know if she's seen any. I don't know. I haven't spoken to her except for a little bit earlier. Talking about, because we're going to stream tomorrow or Sunday. Now it's technically Saturday, I guess, tomorrow. But yeah, we're going to stream Sunday. I'm not sure if we're on Twitch or YouTube about The Witcher. So I've got to go watch them. I've only seen that I'm trying to do one episode at a time so I can do videos. But I'm going to have to at least get through them so we can stream. So I don't know exactly how we're doing it yet. So Rainer also wanted to say, Chris, love these streams and the videos on a consistent basis, even if YouTube and the GOT backlash have seen it hurt the channel. Yeah, it killed it, man. It's not just the GOT backlash; it's just the algorithm itself. If I don't put out something with Game of Thrones in the title, it's just not seen. So The Witcher seems to be doing okay. I mean, a lot better than normal. Like The Mandalorian has done nothing for me as far as the channel goes. I still will finish it up with one episode to go. I've lost, I'll lose a handful of subscribers with those in net, but it just reminds people that Game of Thrones is no longer a thing, and so we're just gonna have to cycle through that, I guess. But the Witcher, people seem to enjoy those, so yeah, hopefully they'll do a little better. But it's so quick with the season. That's the thing. I don't know how it's gonna work. But yeah, if everybody is watching The Witcher, by the way, and you have seen it, I do have the episode 1 review out, and it's doing pretty good. So if you hadn't seen that, you could do me a favor when the stream's over and go watch that full video for like 8-9 minutes, whatever, and give it a like and everything. That'll help it out when people watch the entire video and subscribe, like and comment, engage. That's what gets videos back out there. So we just got to grind through it, man. It's going to take some time, but I'm gonna keep going, man. I'm gonna keep going. I'm trying to get. We were at 84,000. We were 84,000 or something before season 8 ended, and now we're back to 79.3 or whatever. And it's ridiculous, but it's just part of it, I guess. I don't know. So we're gonna get that silver damn play button one way or the other. Bob, I'm still waiting for the move, but it will happen. It's just a matter of time. So I'm closing on my house, this house, to sell it and staying here until the other one's done. And so I'm doing that at the end of the month. But yeah, I'm just waiting on the city, man, so they can start. And once they start, hopefully the weather's not bad all the time and all that shit, so it can get done faster. Yeah, Andrew, The Witcher's really good, man. The first one so far. I haven't seen past the first one, so. But yeah, it was really, really good. The fight scene, I'm telling you right now, I said this in that video. The fight scene in The Witcher where he goes against, I won't say names yet, just in case, but where he goes against a handful of dudes and then a one-on-one combat against this other character that's in the short stories, is the best fight scene choreography I've ever seen. And Vladimir Furtick did it from Game of Thrones, who played the Night King. I'm telling you right now, that's the best fight scene I've ever seen. TV or movies, period. That didn't involve lightsabers, I should say that. So, I'm gonna have to lean up here before my back cracks in half. Yeah, Henry. Yeah, Henry. Anita. Henry's. He's a good Geralt. He is a good Geralt, man. Yes, Andrew. I'm on the novels now. I started with the short stories because I figured that they would start. That's what introduces him and the other characters. So that's what we're going to see. Probably mostly short story season 1. But yes, they are. At first, they're a little odd. Like they're a little odd at first, just because they're so different from I'm so used to like Ice and Fire type stuff. Or specifically a Song of Ice and Fire. But yeah, they're good. And yes, we are keeping up with the podcast. It's just been schedule stuff the last couple of weeks, and then with Christmas going on, James had to go do an early Christmas out of town and all that stuff this week, so it's just that kind of stuff. Quaylin, get the silver button on. No, not in no time. I'm going backwards right now. We've probably lost. I can check actually. I guarantee you, since I started this stream, I've lost probably 10 subscribers. Well, I mean, maybe five. So it's usually something like that. New videos alert a handful of people that are Game of Thrones only people, and it's not Game of Thrones, so those they leave. Nissan. I'm just going to say Nissan. Welcome. I don't care about Rey and Kylo had promise, but it wasn't fulfilled enough for the Reylo ending. What was the point of all their fighting? The lightsaber duels sucked. Yeah, the lightsaber duels were never great, period. And the thing is, though, is they should have been sloppy because they wasn't fully trained, and that's part of Star Wars lore. So it was a little better this movie, I think, but they were always a little bit sloppy. But I did like the fact, I will say this, that they use the Force a little more often. That's something I've always hated about lightsaber fights. Is they're great, don't get me wrong, but they're badass, but they don't use the Force enough, and at least they did this time. So I wanted to see Kylo kill the Knights of Ren, not with the lightsaber, just the Force. Just my thing. That's more of a Sith thing, though. The Sith don't care about lightsabers; it's more for show, and at least in the old canon. But Reylo, I mean, I didn't have a big problem with it. I didn't have a big problem with it for the way they did it. I mean, it was, I don't know, because they had this connection for so long or whatever throughout the movies and yada yada, and then he actually becomes Ben again for real, and she knows it. And I don't have a problem with that quick little, thing before he had to. I don't get the whole they get the life force sucked out of them, but they're not dead anyway, and to heal Palpatine up some stuff. I didn't really get that part, and why he had to die because he healed her. I guess he just didn't have anything left. I don't know, but they had to do part tragedy. Stephen Jones, hey, Chris, I'd like to see a Jedi on the Run movie, sort of like Dalen Jedi Order timeline. Yeah, that would be cool. After Order 66. Yeah, that's an outstanding Fallen Order is outstanding. Streamed it on Twitch and already finished it, but I may play it again in a harder mode or something. I wish they would update it for more story, but they're not. They're just fixing bugs. Rainer of the Throne Room, the last scene in The Last Jedi was pretty solid. See, when I first saw it, I thought it was pretty good. But then when I thought about it, and then I watched it the other last month or whatever with James, just so he could see what I was crying about. It's just, I don't know. I mean, it was cool. Don't get me wrong. It's cool. Anytime lightsabers clash, it's cool. But I just didn't like the choreography wasn't great to me. It was just more, it's just sloppy, I think. But then again, I guess they're supposed to be because they're not fully trained Jedi masters. So, I mean, I get some of that. I don't know if that's what they intended or not, but it was okay. Anita ships Reylo. Yeah, I mean, they did it. I didn't really know if they were or not, honestly. But I guess they kind of did it, sort of. It might have been more of a connection thing, just in the moment thing. I don't know if that had been a long-term thing. I don't know. But I guess. What's up, Lolo? Hey, peeps, dropping in and dipping back out. Love you. Love you back, Lolo. Thank you, Andrew, for comedy sketches are great props. Yeah, I want to do more of them, but I mean, I don't get it. They never got seen. They just lost subscribers like everything else. But yeah, I mean, I want to do some more. I think they're fun. They're fun to do. And I did ended up doing the Star Wars one with Vader, the Vader redneck, and I knew it wouldn't be monetized because I used the whole scene, but I just did the voiceover for Vader. That was cool. That was fun. I mean, but the Game of Thrones they're really fun to do. I hope people would like them, but every video I upload, I'm losing subscribers, so apparently they're not funny enough for those people, even though they were Game of Thrones related. Rainer, a fan, never got to say I love you to Ray. Yeah, it was really, they did make him really fanboy over her a lot. I mean, they were always close from the other movies, but it was really like his only concern, really. And I thought that, yeah, that was it, right? Because he said something like, I'll tell you later. Was that what, I guess that's what it was going to be? I don't know. I'm not sure. Anita, this is a good question. Q&A, were you surprised by Hux being the spy? You know what? I'm actually glad they did that because they so I wasn't surprised really, because when they said something about a mole, immediately my mind went to him because because he was such a overplayed character last episode. It was just like almost laughable, and I don't know if they did that on purpose. But it made sense because him and Kylo butted heads so much. You know what I mean? So he even kind of said it. I don't care if y'all win. I just need Kylo Ren to lose. So I was actually fine with that. I was actually cool with that, him being the mole. Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it, man. That's all I was trying to do is, still using some Game of Thrones stuff. We could go back through the whole season and have all kinds of them scenes with rednecks. And I can do any movie scene. So I got that one Star Wars one too, but from Empire Strikes Back. Edward Martin, what's up, man? Uppers? What? Let's see. Ricky, one improvement I would have loved would have been Palpatine giving Rey a double-bladed lightsaber-like menace. Would be red after she kills him uncorrupted to make it a white version. Yeah, if they're going with the whole kyber crystal bleeding thing, which I think it's all right, but I just don't like it as much as just simple kyber crystals, different colors, and the Sith use synthetic ones. So that's all out the window. It's no longer canon. So now they have to bleed to turn red. So that would have been kind of cool. But yeah, I think we kind of knew the double-bladed Rey saber thing was a vision. Rainer, I never asked, but are you upset they canceled Blood Moon? I was hoping for the backstory to the White Walkers. I wasn't upset, but I wasn't surprised. I don't know. I really wasn't surprised at it either. I got a feeling when Fire and Blood came out, and then George R. R. Martin had mentioned in an interview about all these other prequels they're writing, and there was something based off written material. I was not surprised that they shelved that one for the Targaryen prequel. And I think when you think about it, it makes more sense because they can sell it better with dragons. You know what I'm saying? Because the Night King thing, it should have been answered in the main show. I mean, it was answered. That was just a dumb answer to me. So, but yeah, I'd like to see old school Starks. I still would like to see it, but I think that's the deal. I mean, I'm fine with it. They'll probably end up doing some version of it at some point. But I would like for them to confirm that the Night King was a proto Stark. You know what I mean? Which, I mean, I think he was. That'll definitely be a book thing. Yeah, same, Raider. I'm same. I mean, I still wanted the official answer, but we'll see. We'll get the book answer maybe if they do it in the Winds of Winter. If he waits till Dream of Spring, we'll never get it. But yeah, he'll be a Stark, a proto Stark. Andrew, your theory of the Owl Faces was legit. Yeah, I think so. I think it'll definitely be an important location in the books. I still have no doubt about that. I mean, I could be wrong, and that's fine. That's what bothers me too a little bit. Not bothers me, but people. I saw a lot of comments when we were streaming after Game of Thrones season 8 and how it ended, and a lot of people were saying, not just to me, I'm just saying on YouTubers' comments, like, y'all are just mad because your theory didn't come true. No, that wasn't it at all. Not even close. I mean, we got a lot of stuff right for all these seasons. They just threw out all the foreshadowing and all the storylines, like the Dany pregnancy and Cersei and all that stuff for season 8. So Isle of Faces is still completely legit for A Song of Ice and Fire. There's no doubt about it. So that will be a place there. So I do hope that we get the finished novels so we can one day I'll be able to go, I told you so, with a book in my hand. That's all I can do. But no, I don't care if they're right or wrong. It's just fun trying to figure it out based off what I've read, or watched, and just didn't get answered. Stephen Jones need a Jedi movie show starring Kit Harington. Yeah, he may end up being in Star Wars. He's playing what's his name in the Eternals. So now he's a Marvel dude. So I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up in a Star Wars movie, at least with a cameo. I think everybody wants to do a cameo. I mean, we got Emilia Clarke was in Rogue One. So I'm sorry, Solo. So I would not be surprised. Renner, if they had done 10 seasons, it would have been the best show in history. Yeah, no doubt. If they would have extended it out and did, and not, and had used, I don't know how much detail they got from the Winds of, I mean, I know they got Winds of Winter stuff. I have no doubt about that. Because he's had most of that book done for years. How they rearranged it was their thing, I guess. But, yeah, if they would have extended it out and whatever, maybe just passed it off to somebody else because they wanted to go do other things, yeah, I have no doubt if they would have done. But at the same time, that is George R. R. Martin's ending, and they will get there in different ways, but you're going to see the same thing happen. So I just don't like the ending, honestly. So I don't think the books are going to end great either. I think they'll end great in the sense we'll have some answers about the Night King and all that stuff, but you're still going to have King Bran the Broken. You're going to have all that stuff go down. You're going to have the Dany heel turn, all that stuff. That's all going to happen. You can kind of see it now. When you think back to quotes and read or whatever, you can see, you can definitely see that's coming. King Bran the Broken. They first mentioned Bran the Broken in the first couple chapters of A Game of Thrones. Or not the first couple, after he falls, I mean. Yeah, I mean, they could have done a lot better, Andrew. Speaking of, you're asking how's the book going? Going good. I need to do it more. I needed to be working on it every single day, but I'm trying to. Not only I just finished another chapter, or really close to finishing another chapter. So, and I'm started I got a page. I think about a page and a half, probably, I don't know, 800 words or so in the next chapter. So it's going good. What I'm trying to do is just I'm trying to deal with, I'm balancing trying to continue YouTube to keep it going so I can eat. Doing the Twitch streaming so I can, have, it's kind of just extra for me. Good night, known friend. Have a good one, man. Thanks for stopping by. Doing the Twitch thing, and then I'm trying to also build up the World Anvil page for Patreon. So I'm sharing all the book stuff on Patreon so people can give me feedback and see the world and read about it, not just the story itself, but the actual world building. So it's just a lot to do. It's just a lot, man. Yeah, just a lot. It's just I'm a one-man show here. So anyway, but no, it's going to happen, man. It's going to happen one way or the other. I already know how it ends and everything. It's just getting there, Yeah, I don't know if I teach. I don't know if I could teach Jeremy anything about managing a schedule. I don't know. He's like when you're famous and you get flown around and invited everywhere. I can't say I blame him for having some fun, but yeah, unpaid interns, exactly. Yeah, they definitely get paid around here. Not anymore. YouTube is now gas money. It went from a full-time income to gas money. That's legit. No joke. Alrighty, let's grab a couple more. We'll get out of here. I got to go watch The Witcher, man. And it's time for Riddick's snack. He's sitting here like, can you finally come in here and sit with me? Let me. Okay, let's see that. Ian, Chris used to send me your book, grad student review style. Yeah. No, I want more. That's what I'm. I want more readers, man. More beta readers, I guess you could say. That's what I'm doing on Patreon. I'm sharing that on Patreon so people can check it out and give me feedback. And I got that thing where you'll get a signed copy and all that, regardless of how it's published. But yeah, that's going to happen, man. And I'm gonna work it in to where once I get done here with The Witcher and there's no real seasons or anything, I'm going to work it into my daily thing. So gonna be releasing a lot more there too. But that's the only thing keeping me afloat right now is Patreon for as far as doing this type of thing. All right, Andrew, thank you for stopping by. Have a good one. Yeah, it was cool. I know it was kind of last minute, but I scheduled it actually about 30 minutes earlier, but it wouldn't schedule right. It's been weird the last couple streams on here. It would not schedule. It was scheduling it for like 3 days from now, and I don't know what was happening. I kept changing it, so it took all that time for people to probably get 5 different notifications. Let's see. Andrew, yeah, I'll do more Star Wars themed comedy sketches. I have one on there. There's one on YouTube now. Like I said, it's the Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader scene. That's there. Ooh, Rainer, I don't know. Mandalorian finale was something I hope to see in the Mandalorian finale. Ooh, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to wish for anything. I just want to just let them surprise. So far, it's been great just going along without trying to guess too much. I mean, I think we'll get a hint about they're finally started asking the questions again, which it seemed like they were drifting away from for a couple episodes about Baby Yoda and the Force thing, because that was specifically brought up again after he Force choked Kira. So I'm thinking that maybe he ends up at some point being handed off to Luke in his new Jedi Academy or something. They're trying to get him in the right place. So just at least learning who is maybe who's after him, who the real guy is pulling the strings behind this old Imperial Moff guy who showed up. Because he's still got like fresh stormtroopers and ships and stuff. So at this point, Snoke may be coming to power or something. I don't know. But they have to use that stupid Snoke character now. It was Rainer. And, I said that in that review. I said it used to be initially a Force choke, used to be associated with a dark side power. And it really did back in the old canon. But then, remember, Return of the Jedi, Luke Force choked those 2 Gamorrean guards. So I thought about that after I said that. I'm like, well, yeah, it used to be, but not really anymore. A choke is a choke. Damage is damage. But it was cool. It was cool. Anyway. All right, guys. We'll get out of here. Thank you guys for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you hanging out late on a Saturday night. Is it Saturday? It is now. Friday night / Saturday. Yeah, Force choke, the ultimate kink. Yeah, choke me a little. But yes, I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed hanging out and talking about it. I don't know. I know people have been doing a lot of live reviews for Star Wars the last couple of days since it came out really Thursday. And I just wanted to give my thoughts on it. Like I said, I'll have to process a little bit more, but I just don't think overall. All I'm saying is I just don't think it's as horrible as people are making it out to be. I just think when you have people liking it, the audience score, and it still lines up with The Last Jedi. I mean, I just think it's better than people are making it out to be. Even though, again, it's definitely not perfect and not the exact thing I would have done maybe or whatever with the Star Wars Skywalker trilogy, but it's just not as bad as people think or people want to think or whatever, or maybe the expectations. At least they tried to some degree to make it work. You know what I mean? That's all. So, anyway, thank you guys. Even Yoda chokes. Everybody, yes, we'll see you Sunday. We'll see you Sunday. I'm not sure again. We'll try to announce it on Twitter. But me and Val will be streaming about The Mandalorian. I'm not sure if we're doing Twitch or YouTube. I'm not really sure. We typically do that on YouTube for like we did with Game of Thrones and this now or whatever. But we're not really 100% sure yet. So I'll chat with her and we'll see. But we'll talk The Mandalorian. And I'm going to get off here and go grab a snack and watch the next episode and then write down my thoughts and start those videos. So, anyway. Yes, Ungoliant. Snoke was a complete waste of time. He killed him off just to be doing it for no other reason. So then, we had this sloppy seconds here. So, yeah, Rainer, I don't know exactly how we're doing it. So, I don't know. I'm going to keep doing the videos individually. So, I don't know if we're talking about part of the season or just one episode or two, or we can only really do it a couple weeks, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm not exactly sure. It's just really weird with the Netflix thing, dropping everything at one time. Anyway, appreciate it, guys. Thank you for hanging out. What's up, D-Cell? Yes, it was a lot better than I thought. That's basically what we said, or at least what I said. Some people agreed, some didn't, and that's cool. But anyway, probably what I'm going to do is cut the first 20 or 30 minutes out of this stream, and I'll put it up on YouTube. So I'm going to probably mark this unlisted at least, and because it kills the channel for a live stream. But yeah, DCL, I'll put that out on YouTube as a video, the first 20 minutes or so, 15 minutes maybe, and then that'll be my little review on YouTube for a video. So you can check that out. But anyway, yes, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thank you for all these super chats. I really appreciate it. Let me find my thing here. And the the subscriptions, excuse me, as well. Really appreciate it. So either way, we'll see you Sunday somewhere for The Witcher. And now I'm going to go watch The Witcher episode 2 and start writing down my ideas for that. And I'll start recording those videos as well. So thank you. Love you all. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you next time.